Hey YouTubers, I've got a friend who just got a Nikon Z9 for himself, and he's asked me to share with him all of my preferred camera settings. And rather than explain those settings to him, I told him I would email him a file and he can upload it to his camera, and then his camera will have all of my preferred settings. And so I'm doing this video for his sake, but I thought that it might be helpful to you guys too. If you do find this helpful, please like and subscribe. It would help me out. So what he needs to do is power on the camera, go to the menu, go to the wrench here, go over to time zone and date, press OK, and he'll need to set his time zone, his day date, preferred date format, and whether or not he wants daylight savings time. The next thing he's going to do is take a memory card, and I'm going to send him a file. Okay, so you remember that menu item, we had a choice of save or load settings. Well, on my camera, I chose to save the settings, and I'll put my memory card from the camera into the computer here, and we'll see there's a file here, NCSET010.bin. Those are my settings that I prefer to use on my camera. So what he'll do, I've emailed him this file. He will put his memory card in his computer. He will copy this file over onto the root directory of that memory card. Then he will eject the memory card from his computer, insert it to the camera, and load those settings. Now let me show you what that looks like. Okay, we've got the memory card here with our settings. We're going to load that into slot 1. We turn the camera on. You go menu. You'll go here to the wrench and go over till you get to the Save Load menu settings. Select that and hit load settings. That's it. All of my preferred menu settings have now been added to this camera. And so he'll be able to then experiment with it and see if he likes my settings, or maybe he doesn't like them, but he can reset his camera back to factory default at any time by going back to the same menu and select Reset All Settings. Once he's happy with his settings, he can create his own NCSET010.bin file and archive it somewhere. I keep a copy of my preferred settings in Dropbox so that I can access them anytime from anywhere. I think that's very handy. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of settings that have been transferred over to this camera. It copies over all the items in My Menu. If you haven't ever used My Menu, it's very handy. It's a way to keep all the things you use frequently in one place. Now, I want to point out this. You see I have AF subject detection options as the top item in My Menu. That's very important for what I'm going to show you in a moment. And you see here some of the other settings I have. Now you'll notice all of these that are grayed out here. These are all related to controlling a Nikon remote flash using a WR-R10 transceiver, which I do not have attached to the camera, so that's why those are grayed out now. If that transceiver was attached to the camera, those would be active and I'd be able to access them. You can see the other things that I've set on My Menu. You'll also see down here these last 4 items are related to My Menu, and that's how you add items and remove items. Now, one of the things I've done is on the front of the camera we have 3 function buttons right here, and I have set function number 1 and function number 2 so I can control all aspects of the autofocus system using those 2 buttons. Now I'm going to press in number 1 and I'm holding it in, and you'll see if I turn the rear command dial, you'll see it go from autofocus continuous to manual focus to autofocus single and back to continuous. Now if I rotate the front command dial while I hold function button 1 down, you'll see the area of autofocus changes. So I can control the autofocus area and autofocus mode by holding down function 1. Now function 2 cannot be configured to turn the autofocus detection modes on or off, or to select between them, but I can set it to recall the number 1 item in my menu. So if I press that, I get to my AF subject detection options. I can change my settings, hit OK, tap the shutter release button, and I'm back to shooting. It's not perfect, but it's better than thumbing around through the menu and getting at it the other way. This is my preferred way to shoot with the camera because it gives me all of my autofocus options accessible by function button 1 and 2. I hope you find this helpful. Please like and subscribe if you did. One other note, this works with all Nikon digital cameras. You can save or load your preferred settings and you can share them with different cameras. So let's say you have 2 Nikon Z7s. You can set the first camera up the way you want it to work, save your settings, load them into the second camera, and now they both have exactly the same settings. Now it doesn't work with different cameras. Even if you have, say, a Z6 and a Z6 Mark II, you cannot share settings. You'll have to set up each camera individually. But this is very handy and allows me to restore my preferred settings to a camera anytime I want, or to easily and quickly set up a new camera. As I say, I hope you find this helpful. Thank you.